Morning, guys. Christ Kid here. Today is February 20th, 2019, and I'm just trying the camera on here because on my desktop I need to get a new camera. That one's kind of fuzzy, but my best camera is on my phone. It's just I want to be able to use my laptop and stuff like that to make YouTube videos and send them on there. And I'm not allowed to go live. Like I had to wait for my verify thing, so it's a 24-hour wait. Um, but anyway, we'll go over. Hopefully, this video comes out good and you guys can hear me just fine. I'm reading out of the Nirv Bible, and I'll try to make this under 20 minutes, but um, I'll try to get into explain it a little bit too. You guys are the first ones that I'm sharing this to. After this, I'm going to Big O Live, and then I'll from there I'll share it to my Instagram and my Facebook. That's the good thing about Big O Live, which I didn't know right away. Hopefully, it just does it right. Yeah. So, Proverbs 20. Wine causes you to make fun of others, and beer causes you to start fights. Anyone who is led down the wrong path by them is not wise. So, yeah, don't be a drunkard. It's not fun. Nobody likes you around. Um, if you say you're a fun drunk and all that stuff, there's just no filters just because you're so loose. So you don't know how to drink in order to, in chill mode, and even then, that's kind of like questionable because then a lot of times you get to driving and stuff like that, and it's no good. So unfortunately, I had one mixed drink and I made a decision to drive because I thought I was straight, right? I thought I was good. Well, God decided to say, well, you don't need to, this kind of thing ain't made for you. So then I was in rebellion and I got pulled over again. Um, but it wasn't another one. It was just for my tent. So he gave me a ticket for my tent at the time. And I'm like, all right, I need to knock this crap off. So I'm not going to say that I don't drink, but I don't drink very often at all. Um, I told him after when I went through the class, and I kind of lied there because I got back into drinking. But I said just for special events, like when I get married or something, I'll have some wine there, and I know I'm not going to be driving and stuff. But yeah, that's why I really don't get bars. Like they're just a big time trap. But when I was in the Navy, there was even cops like right in the parking lot. They could have pulled over any one of them probably and got a thing. But I also had a thought yesterday. I'm like, well, all the coworkers, all they do is talk about going to these bars and stuff. Maybe I can charge them like 10 or 20 bucks if I could just be their DD, hang out with them for a couple hours and make sure they don't do anything remotely stupid. And yeah, be their DD. So I've been thinking about doing that because I don't, I like to drink, but if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm gonna be like, I'm probably gonna get, I'm probably gonna drink a little bit, get an Uber, go to a karaoke bar and sing, and then get an Uber back. So in other words, I've got a plan to use a lot of money. Either that or like, I don't know. If you live right across from a bar, it's a different story because you're not having to drive there and stuff like that. And I guess they can still get you. Like if you're drinking too much and you get drunk, which is not smart anyway, um, they can get you for being drunk in public. But let me get back on this because I'm getting off subject. But I was going way too much into detail there. So yeah, don't do drunk, as I like to say. Okay, so 22. A king's anger is like a lion's roar. Anyone who makes him angry may lose his life. Yeah, especially in other countries. In this country, we actually have rights, but yeah, you don't want to piss off the president or somebody of high officials or something like that, especially if you're in another country. Um, I don't know why you would do that anyway. In this country, they really don't care. They push the buttons to the extent, and they're trying to impeach our president right now, which I voted for him because um, supposedly he's a Christian believer, but mainly because I knew he was good with money. So I knew he was good with money, and I know our our deficit right now for America is like 22 trillion or some mess like that, some outrageous amount. It's just retarded. So anyway, I'm all like, well, maybe he can get rid of a couple of those trillion while he's in office because he's really smart and good with money. He wasn't just born into money. He kept it going. He kept it flowing. He made more of it just by making his money work, like making his money bleed pretty much, and just making it, making it work for itself, like just pretty much money making money kind of thing. So, so I think that's probably why they came up with that saying, "Got to have money to make money," kind of thing. So, in a lot of situations, avoiding a fight brings. Okay, so that's verse 2. Verse 3: avoiding a fight brings, and this is out of the NIRV, guys, the New International Reader's Version. So, avoiding a fight brings honor to a man, but every foolish person is quick to argue. Anyone who refuses to work doesn't plow in the right season. When he looks for a crop at harvest time, he doesn't find it. Okay, so 3 is avoiding a fight brings honor to a man, but every foolish person is quick to argue. So yeah, don't be so quick to argue. Don't be so quick to throw blows and start fights and stuff like that. I know there's certain times where you just feel like you're so pissed off, you're like, man, you just fight somebody. I need to get this anger out and stuff like that. But chances are they don't want that. And if you guys are both angry like that, you'll probably end up really like regretting it later. Because it's like working out, man. If I overdo it, I'm going to feel it the next time. I won't necessarily feel it right then and there. I'll be doing it until I can hardly, my last exercise or my last rep, I'm normally doing a lot more and I'm just hurting. So I'm barely doing any, and that's why I'm like, all right, it's time to go. But yeah, you want to, so take it easy as far as that goes. It brings honor, and it shows more of a man when you don't fight. I remember this one girl, she was pissed off because she's all like, "You weren't gonna fight for me," and I'm all like, yeah, I try to avoid fights however I can. I don't even know if I have replied to her properly or what have you. But anyway, she was an idiot anyway, because she was always in the bar. Her ex-boyfriend was there. Excuse me. Her ex-boyfriend was there, and he was drunk, and he saw her with me, and all of a sudden he tried to say some stuff that was hurtful and all this crap, and he started kicking the car, and it was crazy. But I'm like, yeah, you don't want to, because if I allow myself to get to that, and really with anybody, but especially me, I mean, and I'm not trying to put myself out there, but if I get there, it's not a pretty sight. So I try to keep myself away from there, and I've had my brother get me there before, because he just push and push and push, and I just felt I should have just left is what I should have done, and not leave his life, but like leave at that time, because I just, you have to stoop to that level, and when you stoop to that level, it's not so smart, because depending on where you're at and who sees you and stuff like that, and then you're just stooping to that level, so it's not a good thing. So I just take a walk and come back, you know what I mean, or just stop and listen and try to deal. But if they're not hearing it, and they just, people just keep on pushing buttons, or they just keep on trying to just take you off, say, I don't need to do this. So that's why it's like honorable for a person not to fight, because they can have those patience. They can deal with that up to an extent. They tried to calm you down. They tried to not fight. They tried to say, I'm not going to be about this. And, I watched the fight scene. I don't know why, but it just popped up on YouTube or something like that, or one of the browsers I was on. And it was a fight scene from Never Back Down. And the cocky kid, he was like a champ fighter or whatever. he was trying to get this dude that everybody saw him on the video. He's all like, man, this guy's good. So the cocky kid wanted a piece of him, and the kid's all like, man, I'm not going to fight you. I didn't want to, you know. And he kept on and he kept on, and then he tried to leave, and his friends are all like, where are you going? And he could have probably whooped their tail just fine, but the main cocky guy, not so easy. So the cocky kid stooped down to the level of bringing up the death of his dad. When he was drunk, he let his dad drive, and he's all like, oh, really dropped the ball on that one, huh? So he brought up some sore subjects in order to get him there, in order to push those buttons. So it's just low when people got to do that in order to get what they want, because they want it, and they can't accept no. So those aren't very honorable features right there. So okay, so anyone who refuses to work. Okay, so verse 4. Anyone who refuses to work doesn't plow in the right season. When he looks for a crop at harvest time, he doesn't find it. So you got to work when it's time to work. I mean, especially if you're younger, and that's just required. You got these kids that they just got a bad attitude and stuff like that, and they're not doing what they got to do, because they figure they can get by with doing less, but they don't see that that's going to hurt them in the long run. That's going to get them fired, even though they live at home with mommy and daddy. That's not going to look good on their resume. Even if they deny being anywhere that they do get let go, chances are the employer is going to bring it back up and going to try to find out, why were you let go? And so then they got to lie about it, and then there's just a whole bunch of trouble there. So it's just best to push your own weight. So I think that's what it's really saying there. Anyone who refuses to work doesn't plow in the right season. So he doesn't farm. He doesn't plow the land in the right time. He might do it a little later when it's already passed or what have you. Don't procrastinate either. If you plan on doing something, just get it done. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I want to do this. Do it right then and there. Don't allow scatterbrain or that, because I'm guilty of this. If you plan on doing something, keep with the plans. Other things might come to mind, but unless they're way more important or something like that, stick to the plan. Like this right here, the Bible study, there's a whole bunch of other ideas and other things that I want to do, but this comes first. This is supposed to come first right here. And do I struggle making this first sometimes? Do I struggle not getting things done and stuff like that? Yeah, I do, especially when I'm going to work. Like tomorrow, when I get up, I literally got 30 to 45 minutes to get out the door. And I like to get out. I like to plan to get out at 30. So just in case I'm forgetting this or I'm forgetting that or I'm getting a late start, at least I can still leave at that 45 mark. Anything past that 45, though, I'm really pushing it. Then I'm having to speed and I'm stressing out because I don't know if I'm going to get caught on the road going faster. And it's just, so really when you leave early, you're helping yourself out and probably a whole bunch of other people on the road, because they don't want to be around a crazy driver either. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, everybody's last minute. They procrastinate. They do things last minute or what have you, or, maybe asleep in or something like that. But when you do that, just call your employer and say, listen, I'm going to be late. It's not worth the ticket. For me, if I got a speeding ticket or I was in a carpooling or whatever, that'd be worth like 3 weeks pay, and it's not worth it for one day. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. Okay, when he looks for a crop at harvest time, he doesn't find it because he didn't harvest it. I mean, he didn't plow at the right time. The purpose of a man's heart are like deep water, but a man who has understanding brings them out. The purpose of and whenever it says man's, you can use, persons there, because sometimes it means literally man, but they're talking about, I want to say that God's talking about human and woman, and so man and woman, boy and girl, just humans. So, because they're all like, oh, the girls probably get discouraged by just seeing that man thing, and that's why most stuff you can take at face value, but you got to understand that their words, this Bible that was in their words, doesn't necessarily mean the same thing over in our words, kind of thing. So the purposes of a man's heart are like deep water, but a man who has understanding brings them out. So your true purpose, you don't follow after a whole bunch of wants and stuff like that. If you're true to yourself and you see what your gifts are, that's good, and you're wise, you're understanding of that. So that's what that's saying for me. Verse 6, many claim to have love that never fails, but who can find a faithful man? Many claim to have love that never fails. So talk is cheap, pretty much. Talk is cheap. Prove what you're saying. A lot of guys and gals, or whatever. Oh, I'll meet you here. I'll meet you there. I'll give you the world. Like they'll say whatever they got to say in order to get in your pants. It's just the truth. It doesn't matter what walk of life. I'm guilty as well. I mean, I don't promise them the world or anything like that, but I do wish that I waited till marriage to have sex, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I just got a deal. If God blesses me with a virgin, that would be awesome. And let me tell you why. I'll try to make this as clear as possible. Two virgins getting together is a beautiful thing after marriage. It's a beautiful thing. Even if one does, but it's even more beautiful if both of them are together and they get married and then they have sex with each other. You know why? Because they're the only ones that can be that person for that person. It doesn't matter because they haven't experienced these other guys. They haven't experienced these other girls, these other ladies, these that, so their slate is clean. Their curiosity is nothing. There's no other person that can hold that seat in their life. Whoever takes your V card, as we call it, whoever takes that, it's like nobody else can do that. So that's why a lot of people, a lot of women or a lot of guys, like that's their target, because they know that person is going to forever remember them. But yeah, I think it's beautiful how God's plan really worked out there. And I said, you might be made fun of because you never had sex before, but shoot, we should be making fun of people like me. And well, maybe not, but what I'm saying is, like, it's just a beautiful thing to come together and only know the person that you're married to sexually. Nobody else can hold that position. And I think that alone is going to be, of course, that and Christ-centered, and you guys are heading towards mirroring Christ and being like Him. So that's the most important, in loving Him, of course, respecting and having fear for the Lord. But yeah, I just pray that God and the Holy Spirit speak to me through this word. I forgot to pray for that, so forgive me. Lord, I just ask for your guidance in this word, in this, in me teaching these people that are watching this and checking this out, Father. I just pray your Holy Spirit speaks through me, Father. Give a proper definition of these verses and just allow it to get through clearly and within a certain amount of time. We don't want to be here all day, but at the same time, we want to make sure that things are clear. So, in Jesus Christ's name, I pray, amen. Okay, so yeah, that's verse 5. Verse 6, many claim to have love that never fails, but who can find a faithful man? Yep, so just, you say you're going to give her the world, or you're going to be that all for them, then just do that. Just, you guys be together. Don't force nothing on each other, and and just put a ring on it and be that person. Because there's so many people that aren't being that person. They're being slackers. They're not dealing with responsibility. I mean, both parties made the bad decision. There's probably drugs or alcohol might have been involved in order to loosen some things up. But yeah, both in the end they made that decision for the most part. So, but yeah, if you do impregnate a girl and she's not your wife, step up to the plate. At least, I mean, I would say be with her, but at least see your children and support them. Don't just leave and be a deadbeat dad. There's too many of those already. Okay, so anyone who does what is right lives without blame. Blessed are his children after him. So you're a good example, right, when you're living right. A king sits on his throne to judge. He gets rid of all evil when he sees it. It's a good king. He doesn't allow evil to slip its way in like yeast, bread, or what have you. He sees bad and he gets rid of the problem before it becomes a major problem. No one can say, I have kept my heart pure, I'm clean, I haven't sinned. Nobody's perfect. Don't ever claim to be. The only way we're perfect is when we get to heaven, and that's only through Christ. That's why we need Jesus Christ. The Lord hates two things, and Jesus Christ is the only one that can do that too. Nobody else can make you pure and perfect before the Lord, before God Almighty, the Creator, except for Jesus Christ, the Son who He sent to earth to die for our sins specifically. He also sent Him, I think, to be the best example and to show us what to do and how to live and so on and so forth. And just remind us of different parts in the Old Testament that literally said that. So no one can say, I have kept my... Okay, so the Lord hates two things. He hates weights that weigh things heavier or lighter than they really are. So don't like... In other words, be honest when you're selling something or something like that. If back then what they used to do is these people used to have these scales, and these scales might not have weighed. They weighed less. Like the scales, let's say you had 2 pounds of gold, you put it on the scale that said you had 1 pound of gold, just so the people could scam you. See what I mean? So a lot of times I think gas stations are like that. When you cross the border and stuff, they're like, no, we're the only gas station in the area for 50 miles, and you weren't smart enough to get it back in town. So we're going to charge you $5 a gallon or more. So it's stuff like that I think is more really scamming, and like scams in particularly nowadays. Oh, you got these girls online and stuff like that. Oh, get me an iTunes card and all this stuff, and they never plan on seeing you. So that's why I always say real life is always the better. It's always the best. So he hates two things: weights that weigh things heavier or lighter than they really are. I don't know what that heavier part's about, but I know the lighter is. He also hates measures that measure things larger or smaller than they really are. So they're using twisted methods in order to get people. See, and when you get stuff at swap meets, electronics particularly, check that thing out. I've gotten gypped. I got a microwave that was probably like $150 microwave. It was like $20 or something like that, or it might not have been that much, but I mean, new. It would probably have been right around that. So I get home and it doesn't work, and I'm like, crap. The guys are supposed to be there. I go back the next time, I couldn't find them again. So I'm like, well, it is what it is. It was $20, but for me, $20 is $20, but for me, I could have used $20. You know what I mean? So it was a lesson learned. Live and you learn, right? So from there on, I had there was a power tower, and I had the guy check it out. It didn't work right. Oh, excuse me. So I'm glad that I learned my lesson from the microwave. And I go to swap meets a lot. I like going to swap meets. I like going to indoor swap meets. I like bargain shop and stuff like that. And we got a lot of them over here in California. That's again why I love living in Cali, because there's so much variety, and the women are absolutely gorgeous. So hopefully I'll get married to one of those beautiful, God-loving, Christ-centered women. Okay, so verse 11, a child. What time are we on? We're on 25 minutes already, huh? Wow. A child is known by his action. That's better than yesterday, though. For Big O Live or what have you, it might have been Facebook or Instagram. I think I was on at least, I think I almost made 2 hours, and it was just going over it was going over chapter 19, Proverbs 19 in NIRV. So this is actually, the NIRV is the first Bible that I read through. It took me 3.5 years, and I read a chapter a day. And I tried to start off with 3 chapters, but that was too much. You know, you can even go slower than that if it's too much for you. So I did a chapter a day, and I was just honest with myself, and I just did it. But it took 3.5 years. So, but I finally did it. I always put it off and stuff like that. So I'm glad that I got it done. The Lord has made 2 things. He has made ears that hear. He has also made eyes that see. Verse 11, a child is known by his actions. He is known by whether his conduct is pure and right. So yeah, you can tell how a child's acting and how he was raised just by what he acts like, how he conducts himself. So that goes really with people particularly, but especially with kids, because a lot of kids, they don't have any thought, they don't care, right? They're younger, they have a care in the world. They know if they don't like I know when I was younger, I didn't like my butt getting spanked, so I learned not to do stuff when my parents said no, that's not, you don't do that. I said, okay, crystal clear. Keep that hand or that paddle away from my butt. I don't need it. It's funny, my brother, he got pissed off one time. He broke the paddle. My dad taped that sucker back up and just whooped his butt anyway. We had a paddle that was wooden, and it actually showed somebody getting their butt paddled too on the end of it. Yeah, my brother's like, not again. So he broke that sucker. My dad took it, taped it back up, and he whooped his tail even harder, I think. Just goes to show you, don't be sassy. Just learn and listen. Okay, the Lord has made 2 things. This is verse 12. The Lord has made 2 things. He has made ears that hear. He has also made eyes that see. So he's made a lot more than that, of course, but he's pointing this out specifically so you can hear and you can see the right things to do in life, and just be blessed by it. So do that, and also enjoying life and the sounds in it. And but yeah, that's what that's saying to me. Don't love sleep. This is actually, I got this circled, highlighted, and starred by verse 13. Don't love sleep, or you will become poor. Stay awake, and you will have more food than you need. To an extent, stay awake. You know what I mean? I try to get at least 3 hours, and if I don't get 3 hours, I don't work out. But this is after I'm working, right? So after I'm done with the work day most days, except for today, I'm supposed to be having the weekends off, but they won't give it to me. They only give me part-time. So I think it's bullcrap. They're like, yeah, no, we'll accommodate you. And they would accommodate me, but I'd have to go to part-time. And I can hardly pay my bills as is. Actually, I'm behind. So how am I going to go to part-time? I just need to find another job. But yeah, so I've got to work out Monday through Friday, and I still got to work at my work Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know. I might have to take Wednesday off or something. So I might take today off, but see, it messes with my schedule then. And I don't work out the weekends, but now I might have to change that, which is going to suck, because then it's going to mess with my routine of things. And what would that mean? I got to go over this real quick. So if my Thursday is my Monday, so I would have to do arms and do all that because, man, I mean, but I have to do it, right? You gotta deal until you can get back. So I'm gonna have to do that. It's gonna suck, but it is what it is. Good thing I talked about that. So as long as I have a day off, and with this, I'm not having a day off. I'm not allowing my body to rest. So plus, I'm really sore because I took January off for the most part. I think I started working out at the end of it, but yeah, I overdid it the other day with the arms, and I didn't have that much. I mean, I had like almost 4 hours, but I didn't have much sleep either. Most of the time, I try to go in there and excuse me, guys. Oh man, I try to go in there and do at least um, 9 different exercises, 3 reps, or not 3 reps, but um, 3 different sets of so many reps for each exercise, and I try to do 9 exercises at least. That day I did more. Try not to pay attention too close because then sometimes the brain starts to try whining, and it's just it's disgusting is what it is, and it ticks me off, and I'm like, no, you got to focus, and we got to get this done. So let me get back to this. So don't love sleep or you will become poor. Stay awake and you'll have more food than you need. So don't sleep too much. I can't remember my dreams anyway. The only time I can remember my dreams is if like sometimes when I'm sleeping, but like when I take a nap and I get back up, that's when most of the time it happens. Okay, so that was verse 13. Verse 14, it's no good. It's no good, says a buyer. Then off he goes and brags about what he bought. So he's trying to make the seller feel some sort of way so he can get a discount. And then when he gets, he's like, yeah, man, I got this $100 thing for $10 because I made the seller think that it was broken. It was a piece of crap, but it ain't. And I got it. Fooled you. Yeah, don't be doing that crap. So there is gold. There are plenty of rubies, is verse 15. But lips that speak knowledge are a priceless jewel. Isn't this so true? You got all these riches in the world, but nothing's richer than being able to speak wisdom, understand wisdom, apply wisdom, and you got some of these motivational speakers nowadays, like Jim Rohn, and I like TD Jakes, and I don't care what you say about Joel Osteen. I think he's a positive guy to listen to too. Um, they just speak life. Toby Mac, he's actually I think he's got an album that says that, Speak Life. And there's some more of the heavy hitters, like you got to watch how you take them because if you don't take them right, they might depress you. And like John Piper, and there's Paul Washer. Oh no, be careful listening to them though, because you might get pissed off. No, of course the pastor now that I'm under is Marco Garcia and Robert Garcia or Robert. Yeah, I think it's actually the brother-in-law, so I think it's a different last name. But they're great to listen to, too. And I used to have a Pastor Doug Cutts and Donnie Lovitz. So Donnie was actually, he was a doctor. He got his doctorate through seminary, I believe. So he taught me a lot. And so Pastor Doug Cutts, he went to seminary and he was going to finish. His daughter, I believe, went to it and finished. She done did it like good. She went ahead and got married at 18, and she's married to a military guy. So I'm happy for her because she got her crap straightened up, and they're probably gonna have kids and all that, and it's just already going. So it's done properly. So I just moved around so much and was so shy when I was younger that that just didn't happen like that. So, but anyway, yeah, don't love sleep or you will become poor. Stay awake and you will have more food than you need. Oh, okay. 14, it's no good. It's no good. Then goes off and brags about what he bought. So just be honest. Honesty is the key. Honesty and love. There is gold, there are plenty of rubies, but lips that... Oh, okay. So wisdom and knowledge, if you could speak that, like I'm trying to do right now, then that's just a priceless jewel. You can't put a price on that stuff. That's why a lot of these motivational speakers, they might charge $2,000 a session or something like that, but what you learn and what you get from it, if you literally apply it, will get you so much more than that. So it'll be money well spent as far as that goes. For me, I'll hear like our pastor. He can be one of those ones that gives one of those speeches. You know what I mean? But he doesn't ask any money for it or anything like that. You know, you have your tithes and offerings, but that's solely between you and God. You know, and, so I know you're supposed to do the 10%, but after that, if you're going to church, just make sure that they're being active in what they're giving and what they're doing with it. So, 16. Take the coat of one who puts up money for what a stranger owes. Hold it until you get paid back if he does it for a woman who commits adultery. Take the coat of one who puts up money for what a stranger owes. Hold it until you get paid back if he does it for a woman who commits adultery. This has always been one that kind of confuses me. And the Holy Spirit like clarified it before. But I pretty much just make sure you're not getting scammed. So take the coat of one who puts up money for what a stranger owes. Hold it until you get paid back if he does it for a woman who commits adultery. Yeah, so a woman commits adultery, they're twisted already anyway, right? So yeah, that to me is probably just saying so they don't get scammed, so they have something. Because if you're putting up some money for somebody, I'd figure you're good, you're straight. But if it's even more than that and they still don't pay you that extra, then that's not good. And it might be saying, they're not to be trusted, especially if they try to walk out or run out on you. I've only tried to do that one time, and the food was so bad, I'm like, I don't even know if I can pay for this. This is horrible. So it was a really easy exit, and I didn't do it. But yeah, there's been people that like literally, they couldn't. When I was a waiter, they couldn't pay for it. They're like, "I'm sorry, we don't have the money. We'll bring it back tomorrow." And I was fooled that one time. But if I brought a manager over and they said they can't afford it, what are they going to do? Take them back and do the dishes. I'm sure someone sometime did that, or otherwise it wouldn't have been a saying. But yeah, if you don't have the money or you're barely skimping by, then don't go to a restaurant. You know what I mean? So if you can't, especially in other states, you get paid less. If you can't tip properly, definitely don't go. I had this one person scam me. He was like a drug dealer or something. On the way out, he owed me so much, right? So he busted out a whole bunch of 20s. He went through them all, and then he gave me this one. He's like, "You can keep the change, bro. Appreciate it." I said, "Oh, thank you." And I just put it in, not worried about things because I had other tables and stuff like that. Well, the restaurant I was at, you had to feed the machine the bills, and I'm sure they either do that or something more even advanced than that. So this one kept on coming back, and I'm like, what in the world? So I look at the bill, and I take it and turn it around and all that, and it's a fake bill. Like it's not even pasted on properly. So the front's pasted on this way, and the back is pasted on another way. And it's like, sucker scammed me. And then he walked out just in case I did decide to check it. But he knew that I was really busy, so that's probably why he was pulling that one on me. But yeah, just jacked up. So Um, okay, so 17. Food gained by cheating tastes sweet to a man, but he will end up with a mouthful of sand. So don't cheat and just be, your conscience will be clear when you're not cheating and you're not, because, I mean, if you're cheating and you're getting all this money and stuff like that, just nothing's going to please you. It's never enough, and it's just never enough. But when you're happy with what you got, you're content, and you just strive to keep on doing, and you feel blessed and stuff. You're never happy enough. Like, you're always happy. You're always joyful. You're always thankful. So I'd rather be on that side of the spectrum than the other side, and just not be like, all preppy, or not preppy, but all cocky and stuck up. Just never, happy. I don't know. Um, I don't know about that, but I've seen it. I've seen where people are spoiled rotten, and I've seen where they ain't got much to worry about, and they just act like they're better than other people because of that. But you got to think about it too. When they get that much and they're spoiled that bad, then getting them normal stuff is all of a sudden, it's not, oh, you're just getting me that now. You're just getting me that. Where's the other thing? Where's this? Where's that? They just more and more and more, and it's like, no. Feel blessed when you get something. Feel blessed when you get something. You're asking for, oh, is that it? Is that it? Like, no, get out of here with all that. Okay, 18. Make plans by asking for guidance. If you go to war, get good advice. So, like, if you have this big idea or something pops up or something like that, just run it by family members and trusted friends and stuff like that. Maybe they have some thoughts on the idea or some checkpoints that maybe you don't. I'm guilty of this one because I always think that no matter what I pursue, my family's against it. They're like, oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go model. You don't want to trust these people. You don't want to trust them. It's a horrible idea. And I'm like, okay. The strong ones see the common sense in it, and they go after it anyway. If it's their dream. But yeah, don't be depressed through your family either. Like, if they're just putting you down on every pursuit you're going after, I don't know why they're trying to hold you down, but maybe it's because they didn't make it in that area. I think parents should be building you up rather than holding you down, kind of thing. They would want you to go big, like they would want you to go higher and further than they have. At least when I have kids, I hope they do a lot better than me, and they're not going to have to go that far. But and I'm talking as far as going to college and getting proper education, and or just getting a really good, being blessed and getting a really good title, and just having that experience under your belt earlier on, and maybe getting married earlier on and finding the right wife, because they're not having sex here and there, protected or not. They're not doing that. They're living the proper life because. So if they're doing better than I was, then I'd be happy. I wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't be jealous. I'd be like, good job, son or daughter. Y'all keep up the good work and allow the Lord to lead you. Because you go so much further in life if you just stay on the same track. Like, I'm going to follow the Lord. I'm going to see this thing through. I'm going to tame these beasts. And I'm going to get back on that. Or I'm going to get on that and I'm going to stay on that. Now, is everybody perfect? No. But I'd rather have these little things, rather than these big things hold me back. You know what I mean? So, okay. If anyone calls down curse on his fire. Okay. A person who talks about others tells secrets. So avoid anyone who talks too much. Don't gossip. And don't be around gossipers. Don't become like that. Make plans by asking for guidance. Okay, so that was 18. The gossip was 19. 20 is if anyone calls down curses on his father or mother, his lamp will be blown out in total darkness. So don't curse your mom or dad, and don't say, God, smite them and stuff like that. That's not smart. Because if you ask them to do it, or God to do it for them, it sounds like he's going to turn right back around and do that for you. Like he's going to blow out your candle. So yeah, be careful with the things that you ask and you pray for too. A lot of people are like, I wish I won the lottery. And I do wish I won the lottery. I'll take that prayer any day of the week. More money, more problem, but I think I could. Actually, I know I could with the help of the Holy Spirit. I know that I can deal with that. So I know I distribute it properly, and I'd be comfortable as well. Not so comfortable that I don't work for myself and stuff like that. But and don't get me wrong, I'd enjoy the fortune, but I would also be doing a lot of good with it, a lot of good. So, and God downloads these ideas and stuff with me as well, and I can also give the money to churches that I know that are like literally being active, and then just paying their debt off and then they get these other downloads and these other ideas and these other churches open up. So, it'd be pretty cool. Our pastor even has these crazy good ideas about having a helicopter and literally being able to travel to other campuses so he can do that. Now, a lot of pastors won't even think about doing that, but I think he understands the difference between being at a church and just being live. And it's never fun going to a church and you're watching a live feed of a sermon the night before, the sermon at another church at that time. It's like, well, if I did that, I could just go online. It's like going to a casino and you're seeing these machines and they're like, okay, if this was it, then I could just go online and do that stuff. So why are we doing virtual and real? It's not making a lot of sense. But it's better than nothing kind of thing. But at the same time, I like seeing the person in life if I can help it. If I can't be there, then I'll go online and watch them. But I don't want to go to a place just to watch somebody on a screen. I want to be able to see them. That's why I go to the place. You know what I mean? So if anyone calls out, okay, so property, this is 21. Property you gain quickly at the beginning will not be blessed in the end. Property you gain quickly at the beginning will not be blessed in the end. Sounds like a repo or something like that. Property you gain quickly at the beginning will not be blessed in the end. Either that or you steal stuff or something like that. Yeah, so don't do that. Don't push people out of their home and stuff like that when they're literally trying to do something. They're literally trying to make payments, and you know that they're not playing you because you can just tell people. You can tell whether people are trying their best to take care of their family and deal. And it's now for other people where they're like, you know that they're scamming you. Yeah, get them out of there. But yeah, the guys that aren't and are literally trying, I would say, to give them a chance. Don't say I'll get even. Don't say I'll get even with you for the wrong you did to me. Wait for the Lord and he will save you. Self-explanatory, right? So don't, somebody does you wrong, don't do twice wrong to them. Pray to the Lord about it and say, allow me to deal with this properly, or please deal with that. Okay, the Lord, this is 23. The Lord hates weights that weigh things heavier or lighter than they really are. Scales that are not honest don't please him. Don't please the Lord. That's the second and third time that this is brought up in this chapter, guys. So in other words, be honest, even when you're selling stuff. The Lord directs a man's steps. So how can anyone understand his own way? And I was saying this about me doing these live feeds on the Bible study too, on the Proverbs Bible study at the NIRV. I do at NIRV because a lot of people, I don't think they teach on the NIRV, and I like the NIRV. So yeah, so I wanted to do a Bible study with the NIRV, especially in the Proverbs. So anyway, it's showing you that because I had these other things planned for today. And the Lord's like, no, we need to do Bible study first. And I said, okay. So I'm here and I'm doing this. But I also got to make sure that I'm doing it within a certain time, or it just gets crazy. The Lord directs a man's steps, so how can anyone understand his own way? So don't not make plans, don't not make goals, but just pray about it and make sure that, hey, that's what God wants me to do too. A man is trapped if he makes a hasty promise to God and only later thinks about what he said. So don't be so quick to say, Lord, I'm going, send me, or I'll do this, or what. Like, if you pray about something, like I said, be careful about what you're praying about and what you're asking God for and what you're promising God. If you're jerking off 10 times a day, and I'm just being real here, guys, or you're doing drugs and stuff, and you're like, Lord, I promise you, from this day forward, I'm not going to do any of that. And you had a problem giving up that before, then don't be so quick to say that. Like, just stop and say, Lord, I'm really working on this, and God willing, you help me, and I can get this addiction over with and be done with and get past those 90 days so I can get over it and I can be more focused on you and focused on life, and I can get things going. And I'm not looking at every female like a piece of meat. I'm not looking at every, I'm not looking at porn. I'm not doing this. I'm not looking for an easy release and stuff like that. It's just, so yeah, just be, so just be careful with what you're promising, or you're so quick to promise God. You know what I mean? That's why I promised God things before, but I was so ashamed of me not being able to keep that promise that I'm all like, I can't be doing this, especially to the Lord. I said I got to do the thing and then maybe make the promise. But God knows my heart, so I do promise Him that this heart is His. Like this core of my soul belongs to the Lord, to Jesus. And I made that decision when I was 8 years old. And did I stray away and did I do wrong things? Yeah, I did. But I'm paying for them now because here I am. I'm not established. I don't have a wife, don't have kids. But I can only blame myself because I allowed mainly lust and stuff, procrastination, fear to run me, rather than, just going straight forward and trusting in the Lord, praying about it, trusting the Lord and doing it. So prayer without action is dead. It's in James. I'm not sure exactly where. I just saw it on my phone. But yeah, prayer without action is dead. So let me get back to this. 26, a wise king gets rid of evil people. That's the second time. He runs the threshing wheel over them. So he's talking about a king getting rid of evil people. So if you're in a higher position and you know somebody's giving up and they keep on having problems, you're just skating, see you later. And you can talk to them too. Like, that's the more respectful thing to do, right? You're like, listen, I see that you're skating around here, and if you want this job, then you're going to stop doing that. But pretty simple, straight to the point. And they're going to shape up, especially if they have a family to feed. But if it's just like a little snot-nosed kid or something like that, and he's working there, and he's just not understanding the meaning of a dollar, and he knows he can go home and whatever, then that's no good. So you don't ever want to burn your bridges kind of thing, especially on purpose. Burn your bridges. Yeah. The lamp of the Lord searches. Okay. A wise king. Okay. So verse 27, the lamp of the Lord searches a man's heart. It searches deep down inside him. So the Lord can see maybe even things that you don't see. It sees the innermost understanding and why you're doing things and this and that. Like, God knows me more than I know myself. And same with you and everybody else, because we are His creation. So He knows us. So if you make those promises and stuff like that, and you're doing this or you're saying that, He knows whether you're telling the truth or not. That's why you can't hide from it. You can't hide no sin. There is a story about a girl who used to do her sin at night because she didn't think God was up. She thought he was sleeping. Now, he never sleeps. He doesn't have to. He's a creator. He's all-knowing. He's everything. Um, so he knows stuff that you might not even know. He remembers stuff that you might not even remember. Now, is it as far as the east is to the west? Yeah, if you're saved, it is. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to be punished for it now. And you reap what you sow. Like if you're lazy, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're probably going to get fired. So just don't do that. Searches deep down inside him. Love and truth keep a king safe. Faithful love makes his throne secure. So people that are that love and truth keep a king safe. Faithful love makes his throne secure. So just be able to love the king that you're around, and just hopefully he is a loving and a truthful king. And working for those kind of people is the best, because they're resembling Christ and they don't even have to say anything. You know, you can tell a person by their actions and stuff like that. So without even saying anything, half the time I can see a Christian. They don't have to say anything. I mean, they do, but they're just following certain steps. They're saying certain things. They're acting a certain way. They're hardworking. They're always happy and stuff like that. So you can tell a Christian that's in a proper walk with the Lord without them even saying anything. So hopefully, you know, that's what the president or the ruler is like, instead of being like really greedy or just really mean and stuff like that, and just asking for the people to do more than they need to, or what have you, or just doing unfair wages or something of that nature. So love and truth are good things. Young men, this is verse 29. Young men are proud of their strength. Gray hair brings honor to old men. So the strength of young men, strength of young people, and gray hair means wisdom, baby. I mean, it means knowledge. It means they've been around for a little bit. So I have a white hair. Some people get white hairs, you know, here and there, but just depends on like what kind of stressors you're allowing yourself to go through, and things that are happening in your workplace and what have you. And those are the kids or whatever. Those are the ones that I think cause those hairs to come. But yeah, wise people, they grow the gray hair, and I'm sure wise people grow white hair too, but brings honor to old men. So yeah, blows and wounds wash evil away, and beatings make you pure deep down inside. So blows and wounds wash evil away, and beatings make you pure deep down inside. So this is pretty much like spankings and not torturings, but when you're bad and you're punished, if you're wise, you'll learn. That was in the last chapter too. The ones that understand after they're beat or they're corrected will understand. The foolish ones, it will take them a little harder lesson. They might have to be beaten. They might have to go to jail. They might have to do this. However your systems work. So that's what it's saying to me. So, you know, with kids too, if you spank them, hopefully spank the evil out of them. They understand they don't want to do that. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm right at the hour mark here for the chapter. So we're going to put this, and just remember, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. It's Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Thanks for watching, guys. Love y'all, and please subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, and all my Facebook and all that. I'll be under Ryan Scott Ellis 09 at gmail.com. Have a blessed day.